Hello, I'm Matthew Zapowski, much better known as Cantor. This is a short presentation and instructional for my threaded project phase 1 for object-oriented software development at SATE 2025-2026. This was all done solo, but with the help of my AI, whom I have affectionately named Metacoda, who is running as ChatGPT 5. The project requirements are to make a website for a fictional travel agency called Travel Experts, and it comes in two parts. The first part, Workshop 1, has 4 main HTML pages: index, packages, register, and contact. They have placeholder form functionality to be built on in the next workshops, so they are not actually posting anywhere, with one major exception. This project is made using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and the form information on the register page is expected to be sent to a bouncer.php file, and I have included one. So let's see how this runs. We're on the correct branch here. So go to the terminal and type in php-s, the capital S, localhost 8000, and this will run the bouncer.php. Follow the link. For Workshop 1, here is the index page. You'll note a bunch of dynamic stylings here, such as gradients, transitioning colors, glow effects, resizing, etc. Just to show that these buttons are working, but there's also buttons up at the top. Let's first go to the contact page. Here you see a form to send a message. However, there is some validation required here. For instance, it needs to be a proper email. Everything needs to be filled out. And when it is filled correctly, it'll say, "Thank you, your message has been sent." This is a dummy message, and in fact, there is no post going to any endpoint here. If we go to the register page, you can register to become a new customer. So let's check the validation here. All of these fields are required except for this optional field, and this one's already enforced and immutable. So let's try some test inputs. Here you're actually forced to make a proper pick for the province. Here in the phone fields, you are actually not even able to input any numbers, or sorry, any letters. They have to be numbers. And you see that there is auto formatting, both in the postal code and in the phone, adding extra spaces and hyphens where needed. Also, the password field is covered up, but let's try this. I intentionally made this not work properly, so it is enforced to comply by Canadian standards. This needs to be letter, number, letter, number, letter, number. So let's go A1, B2, C3. This has to have an @ and a following domain, and this needs to be 10 digits. Now that we have the PHP server running, we can register, and we see that it says registration successful. Thank you for joining Travel Experts. Now, if we go back to the terminal, we can see that using the PHP bouncer, there has been a successful post of the form content. Finally, if we go to packages, these are just some placeholders with very crude functionality here. For now, it would just be expected for you to put in a valid registered user ID and password. As a matter of fact, this part is actually not reading from a database, and it is hard-coded in Workshop 1 so that the only valid user is to put in user ID, no space, all lowercase, and password, all lowercase, and verify. In that case, you will see that the booking is confirmed. And that is all we have for Workshop 1. Moving on to Workshop 2. This adds, I have added a new HTML page called order that you are redirected to from packages instead of how I had just displayed for Workshop 1. Most of the prior placeholder functionality has been replaced with posts to and fetches from the Travel Experts MySQL database. And now this Workshop 2 project uses HTML, JavaScript, CSS, Node, and Express. So let's switch on over to that. Hopefully this will not bug out on me. So for Workshop 2, in order to get this running properly, you want to run the command npm run dev in the VS Code terminal. And so now we have a node server running there, and we can go to its localhost, and now we're looking at Workshop 2. So index page is pretty much identical. And I will show here we currently have the Travel Experts database running. We can check this in terminal or in command prompt. This is running as administrator. There you go. And for the sake of showing some functionality here, if I put in net stop MySQL 94 as to match, it'll stop the server, and this we can use to prove that there is in fact database functionality happening. If we go to packages, you will now see that it's failing to load. If we go to contacts, you'll see that the agents are failing to load as well. If we go to register, even if we fill this out properly, and this has the exact same validation as Workshop 1, you can see I fixed the coloration there. While the database is unavailable, you will actually get a corresponding error message saying that it could not insert. So now let's turn the database back on and show the functionality accordingly. So if we look, for example, at the agents, these are the agents that are given to us in the database. And now if we go to the contact page, we will see them loading correctly in a slightly different order. I think that's just a little quirk of how my AI helped me put that together. But you can see that these names are indeed all matching. Now if we go to the packages page, we have dynamically loaded packages. As you can see here, it matches. And just to show even more functionality, let's get rid of that fifth package. We see that there's only 4 there now. If we come back, there's only 4 here. All of these have already started and have not ended, so we have started tags on them. We can add that package back in. See that it is indeed put there. Come back to the page, and we see that it's loaded up. And because it is currently October 27th, 2025, this is not started yet, and accordingly, we do not get a started tag. Now, if we go to the register page, and we put in correct credentials, note that these postal code and phone number parts are auto-formatted. They're both enforcing capitals, and the numbers are enforcing numerical inputs. So I'm pressing the letters here, and nothing's coming in. But now I can put in a specifically 10-digit number. You see auto-formatted dashes. There's an auto-formatted space here, and we need to have that @ symbol here. We register. So let's quickly check. Here, if we look at the current registered customers, okay, Gerard here is the last one at 143. And now we put in all of this information. We register. It says registration successful, welcome aboard. And if we check the database again, we see that our test user has successfully been added. Now, if we go to packages and we go order now, this will take us, not like from Workshop 1, to a new page. And if we put in any other information, it'll tell us that the customer cannot be found. So you actually need to be using credentials which match a customer in the database. So because we just made that test user, let's go test and test@email.com. And before we make this booking here, let's check what we have so far here. So our new user was ID 169. And if we look at the bookings, the last one here, 1303. Now, if we confirm the booking, here we go. The booking is confirmed. This time, let's say back to packages. And we can go to the database, update it, and see that there is a new entry here, which indeed is for customer ID 169, which we had just made, and that was for package 3, which I just clicked on. I'll also just show how the other button there works. If I say package 5, I can do the same thing. And that will create another booking. And this time we'll just close it. You see it's not wiping the data. And if we come back to bookings, we can see that yet another booking has been made for the same customer, this time for destination 5. So our form functionality is posting from order and from register, and is fetching for order, packages, and contacts. And that's showing essentially all the functionality of my project. Possible future improvements. Well, of course, one change that you saw slightly in the UI between Workshop 1 and 2 was that I removed the password field. This is for the reason that when I looked at the Travel Experts database, I saw that there was no password field that was already included for customers, and I didn't want to mess with the core functionality of the database too much, so I adhered to it. But obviously, rather than putting in your first and last name and email in order to confirm an order, it would be ideal for that to actually be an email and password pair, which is stored in the database. So that is the first change we could make. Other than that, email integration. So for my final workshop too, that message post on the contacts page is not currently going to an actual email. However, of course, that would ideally be implemented as well. Another ideal thing to change would be that when a user registers, an actual verification email would be sent to their real email address in order to verify them properly. So that has been essentially my full project. Thank you, and you can check out my GitHub for the project. The repository is at github.com/mcantor111. That's my favorite number. And /travel experts 2025-2026. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day.